Pistis Sophia, chapter 14. In the Gnostic tradition, chapter 14 of the Pistis Sophia describes the triumphant ascent of the soul, manifested as the Savior's light, as it transcends the material rulers, archons, and their limiting structures. And I left that region behind me and ascended to the great eons of the rulers, and came before their veils and their gates, shining most exceedingly, and there was no measure for the light which was about me. Greater than, it came to pass then, when I arrived at the 12 eons, that their veils and their gates were shaken one over against the other. Their veils drew themselves apart of their own accord, and their gates opened, and all the angels of the eons, their archangels, their rulers, and their powers saw me, shining most exceedingly. And they were thrown into agitation, and great fear fell upon them, when they saw the great light that was about me. The soul's fundamental meaning, the core meaning of chapter 14, is the soul's absolute liberation through the activation of its inner light vesture. The eons and rulers represent the dense, constricting, and karmic layers of the material world that try to trap the soul in a cycle of fear, guilt, and survival. As the soul awakens to its true infinite source, its internal light becomes so blindingly brilliant that the gates of limitation literally part on their own. The soul no longer negotiates with, apologizes to, or bows down to lower vibrational forces. It simply outshines them, passing through untouched. Synthesized five-fold lens bullet points. Esoteric, the inner alchemical ascent. The 12 eons represent the 12 constellation pathways of the zodiac and the corresponding neural networks within the human body. The shaking of the veils represents the opening of the crown chakra, the ultimate gate, releasing the spirit from the lock of physical density and letting the inner light stream flow unimpeded. Metaphysical, the law of spiritual dominance. Light is the supreme organizing force of reality. When your mind operates from a high-frequency, unified state of consciousness, the gates and veils of physical resistance, doubt, and mental blockage automatically dissolve. You do not force your way through obstacles. You raise your vibration until the obstacles can no longer exist in your reality. Spiritual, pure gnosis and non-apology. True spiritual maturity is realizing you do not owe the lower dimensional rulers, or your own past guilt, any explanations. When confronting spiritual testing, you do not argue or shrink back. You anchor yourself in the divine spark, the Christos within, and let your silent, radiant presence do the work. Afrocentric, breaking the archontic chains of oppression. The rulers of the eons are the historical and systemic forces of subjugation and spiritual amnesia. This text is a blueprint for radical, sovereign reclamation. When the collective consciousness awakens to its original, divine royal lineage, the colonial structures, mental chains, and oppressive gates are thrown into great agitation and fear, and must give way. Western application, conquering social and psychological gatekeepers. In daily life, the rulers are the critics, systemic gatekeepers, and toxic societal narratives that tell you you aren't ready, worthy, or qualified. Stop trying to fit into their boxes or begging for their permission. Build your inner power, refine your craft, and show up with such unshakable excellence and light that their gates have no choice but to open for you.
Light, love, prosperity. Gratitude.